Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I wanted to tell you guys what to me are the best period dramas out there, in my humble opinion. I think that one of I don't want to say a passion, but one of the things that I do really enjoy are good romantic period dramas, and they make me feel so wonderful, they make me feel happy, and I feel like in some way they're kind of comfort food to me. And some of them are my favorite movies of all time. So I wanted to mention some of them here. I have 13 in my list, and yeah, let's get started. Let me know if you have watched any of these, and if you have more, please let me know, because I love them and I will watch them. And yeah, so first one that I even have on DVD, and it's Little Women, the most recent one. I feel like this movie was, I don't want to say life-changing, but close to that for me. I watched it last year. Every time that I watch it, I sob like a kid, because it's just a story that touches me so much. And this movie just is based on the book Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I did read the book, but I found that the book was because it's a book targeted towards children, it's very moralistic, and it's written in a way where there are certain small chapters, and each chapter the girls do something, and the author is trying to teach a lesson. But the second half of the book is following them as grown-up women, and kind of them dealing with what they wish to do with their lives in a society that's very patriarchal. So I like the later half of the book a lot more than the first, and I feel like this movie made me love both, and it integrates both so well, and the scenery is beautiful and the music is beautiful, and I think that this is just amazing, and it's why I have it on DVD. I never buy DVDs, but I saw it and I was like, I need it, and here it is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. I love it. I love it so much. And I watched the previous adaptation, and it's good, but it's not as good as this one. I'm sorry. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Then I have Jane Eyre, which I'm not going to talk a lot about because I did make an entire video about that, but I have the book right here. This book was also one of my favorites of all time. It's one of those books and stories that just left me with a book hangover for like a month. And while I was watching the adaptations, I found the movie to be very disappointing, story and plot wise, because I think that the actors were great, the scenery was great, and the music was wonderful. But because it is a movie, it didn't explore everything that this book had to offer. My favorite is the BBC Jane Eyre adaptation from 2006 with Ruth Wilson, and I forgot the other actor's name, but it's just wonderful and I love it. And it's a mini series, and you have the entire story. The only thing that I didn't like was how they dealt with, spoilers here, how they dealt with the scene in which Jane Eyre decides to leave. I feel like in the movie it was a much more faithful adaptation, but overall I found the miniseries to be just better, and I found it to be extremely just heartwarming, and I loved it, and it's just everything I wanted. So yeah, definitely the 2006 adaptation. And then of course I have Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice, the adaptation to me, and the one that I love the most, is the movie, which is weird because you would think that, given that I really do enjoy the 2006 Jane Eyre adaptation, that I would like the 1995 adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. I did watch it, but I don't know why it just doesn't speak to me as much as it speaks to other people. But yeah, the movie, to me, the scenery is great, the story was great, and the music is wonderful. I feel like, to me, music is very important, and I listen to a lot of soundtracks. If you want me to make a video about that, I will definitely do that. I love composers and their work, and yeah, music is just wonderful. So yeah, to me, I guess that the Keira Knightley and Matthew 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 McFadden, I think it is. Yeah, I think that one I really did enjoy too. So yeah, Pride and Prejudice 2005, definitely. Then I have Northern Gravity, which is a movie that I don't think that many people talk about, but I really did enjoy it. I loved the actors, and the scenery was beautiful as well. I feel like this is one of my, I think this is like in the middle for me when it comes to the Jane Austen books and stories. I feel like I really did enjoy it, and I loved the actors that played the movie. Basically, the story follows, if you didn't know, we follow Catherine. She has lived all her life with her family, her very big family, and she's given the opportunity to go to Bath, I believe. Is it Bath? Anyway, and when she goes to kind of spend some time in Bath, she meets Henry Tilney, and we get to basically see their romance. And yeah, I really like the gothic elements in this book. I really like gothic literature in general. I feel like Jane Eyre really does say that about me. But yeah, the movie was wonderful. I enjoyed it. I like that the movie had this bit of, I don't know, humor that just characterizes Jane Austen stories and literature, so I really did enjoy that movie as well. Then we have Emma, which I have to say, I have to admit, I have not watched the previous adaptations, but I did really like the most recent one, and I will say why. I think that the story was pretty well done. The plot, it followed pretty closely to the book. I read the book I finished the book the day before I went to see the movie, so I had it pretty fresh in my mind, and I remember being very pleased with how they did the story. And the music is wonderful, the scenery is wonderful, the actors are wonderful, so I really did enjoy it, and I really did enjoy just the humor surrounding Emma. I think that this is one of the most funny Jane Austen books. And because of that, I really like the tone that the director decided to go with the movie and the adaptation. So yeah, the only thing that I didn't like about that adaptation was the ending. I felt like they changed something a little bit, a small detail, but I felt like that detail told us a lot in the books about who Emma is as a character, and when they changed that, it kind of irked me a little bit, but yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Then we have Howard's End. I have not read the book. This is my copy. I really don't like the cover, but the most recent adaptation with Haley Atwell and Matthew McGavlin, I always can't pronounce his last name. I loved it. It was amazing, and I watched it, I believe, last year, and it was, I think, just delightful to see. And it's a story that explores a lot about society and classes and stuff like that, so I found it to be very just great. I have not seen the previous one. I want to read the book first before I really do get the whole idea, but I definitely think that the most recent adaptation, I really enjoyed it a lot on its own. So yeah, definitely that one too. I also have A Room with a View, which to me, the adaptation that I like the most, I think it's the only one, is the one with Helena Bonham Carter. What a movie. What a movie. It's just, again, it's just beautiful to watch. It's the scenery, the Italian landscapes, it's beautiful. And I mean, I have the exact same scene. I think that everyone really enjoys that one because it just looks so beautiful. And it's the first time that the two main characters kiss. It was Oh, I loved it. I loved it, and I think that the adaptation from the story from the book to the movie was done great, and I really did enjoy the music as well. Now, the rest of the ones that I have, I don't think that they're books. Well, yeah, they are books, some of them. So, but I don't have physical copies of them, and I don't think that I have read all of them. So, let's get started. The first one is the Gersneys Literary and Potato Peel Society. This one is a book, I believe. The movie is on Netflix with, I forgot her name, the one that does Cinderella. I forgot her name. I always forget names, but basically the story follows a writer. She is in London and she goes to visit this island that was very affected by the Second World War, and she goes to visit a book club that was formed secretly because when that island was occupied because of the war, they weren't really allowed to congregate, I believe, or to read certain books. I think that's the thing. I found it, again, I really like bookish movies, so movies that, if it's a period drama and if it focuses on books, I'm hooked. So this one is on Netflix and I really did enjoy it as well. Then we have Outlander. I read the first book years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, and I really did enjoy it, but the TV show, to me, it's a bit better. And I remember falling into a crisis when I saw the ending of the second season. And for those who have seen the series, they know what I'm talking about. I was destroyed. I cried every time that I heard the theme song of the Outlander TV show. I would cry because it was just so heartbreaking. And yeah, it's still one of my favorites. I still think that season 1 is my favorite season of them all. Let me know what your favorite season is. But yeah, definitely a good TV show as well. It's just amazing, and the music and the characters and just Jamie. Yeah. Then we have Poldark, which it's a favorite. I have to admit that I really did enjoy it. Is it better than Outlander? I don't think so. But this one just follows this man in Cornwall trying to get into the mining business, I think. So you get to learn about mining and just the industry and what was going on at the time surrounding that kind of work. And yeah, I like it because of Demelza. Demelza to me is one of the most badass female characters out there, and I love the fact that she doesn't take anything from her main love interest. So yeah, loved it. The music, I don't think it's that very memorable, but the scenery is beautiful. Then we have Belle, which is a recent one. I saw it because I had been seeing so many pictures of it in Pinterest, and we basically get to follow our main character Belle. She was born out of a interracial relationship, and basically when her mother dies, she is taken into the family of her father, which is a white family, and we get to see how she is treated there and how she grows up kind of being, she is of noble descent, but she's not really treated that way. And we basically get to see a little bit about the horrible things that occurred in England with regards to the slave industry and the slave trade. So although this movie can be a little bit sad at times, I also felt like it was just a wonderful movie, and it was really and I really did enjoy that it had a happy ending, and I cried at the end because it's based on a real story, and that always gets me. And I really did love the relationship between the two main characters. So yeah, I really did like this one. Okay, now we have 2 more. The Crown. I think that everyone loves or has seen or has heard of The Crown. It basically follows the story of the current Queen of England, and I used to know about her. I think that those of us who don't live in England, we know of her, but we really don't know her entire story. and I just love it. I love The Crown. I think that is one of the best series out there, and it deserves every single award that it has. I love it. It's great. The music is great. And even though they change casts every 2 seasons, I feel like in a way you don't notice it, and that is very hard to do. So yeah, great. And the last one, which is one that I just watched I think last week, but I really enjoyed, is called Suffragette, and it's basically the story of the journey of women trying to get the vote in England. I found it to be incredibly moving, and it makes you really appreciate the hardships and the sacrifices that a lot of women in the world went through to get the vote. And at the end, it has a list of the many countries around the world, and the time in which women were given the vote. And I was stunned at the fact that there are countries that gave women the vote just years ago. So vote, everyone. We're about to go into elections, so please vote, women, because when you really do get to see just all of the horrible things that they went through in order to get that, you appreciate it a lot more. So yeah, that is my list so far. I do have more, but this video would be just huge if I did it. So I tried to really talk about the best and the ones that I enjoy the most. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any that I am yet to see. I know that Downton Abbey is it's up there. I have not watched it. Someday I'll start it, but yeah, I will see you guys then with the next video.